The next person I also met on Twitter, then I confirmed their identity on OkCupid. They also happen to be a very good slam poet with a really amazing and new voice. Feminist and really cool, and I'll let them speak for themselves. Marylyn.
Hi, I feel like all we do nowadays is make OkCupid references, so I'm not gonna do any of that today. This year is my first queer awakening. So this is my first IndigNation, my first pink dot, my first everything. So yeah. So I wrote a poem especially for you guys because okay, it's called First Day of Sexual Orientation, or Baby's First Indignation. Okay. First day of sexual orientation. I'm the oldest kid in the room, just like in church catechism class, because my father forgot to enroll me the previous year. I wonder if we have a buddy system and who is going to take me by the hand, because we shouldn't do that in public. Tell me where the staff room is, because I can't wait to be pigeonholed. Please inform the school nurse that I'm feeling a little queer, probably because of a minor contraindication. First day of sexual orientation, and I don't learn that it's a thing that should be broadcast until it's too late, until people project their own ugliness onto filming two girls together and getting their own cinematic release from school. This is why, when my sexuality called, instead of taking the phone, I put it on hold for 2 years, like I do to telemarketers who only speak Mandarin. Somehow I bypassed some vital intermediate stage and found myself simultaneously needing a queer mentor and being too old for one. Instead of queer mentors, I probably need to grow out of eating sweets. I will not call myself a baby queer because there are 16-year-olds out there walking and talking and having actual thoughts on Twitter, but still there should be a tradition of scrapbooking our gay awakenings, a spiral book titled Baby's First Year of Pride Events, a keepsake kit to preserve the shape of your first wine bottle at Pink Dot, diapers lined with fun, absorbent patterns that describe the aims of the Wear White movement. I got the idea that I should collect as many queer scout badges as I could to better show off my personality, pansexual switch, unicorn obsessed, gay man in teenage girl's body, hard fan, just plain hard up, until we all became Game of Thrones characters with unending titles. Marylyn, queen of indiscriminate Tinder swiping, decrier of badly written profile pages, observer of cute short-haired girls, dampener of pillows, honorary scribe, first-class nerd, taker of notes on the homosexual lifestyle. In anatomy class, I am more Cossacks than Cocoon, because I am learning to grow a spine, but am also unfurling to reveal a conspicuous lack of wings. The textbook says, contrary to popular belief, bisexuals cannot really fly but glide using a membrane that spans from wrist to torso. The diagram of my emotions is as convoluted as a duck's corkscrew penis. In art class, I'm not sure how to feel about depicting my parents as martial arts experts who are able to swiftly sidestep uncomfortable issues in our family portrait. All I can do is wax lyrical as a 7-color Crayola set. But more and more I feel like that last frame of a primary 3 composition where they give you 3 pictures in a blank and expect you to come up with a coherent storyline. But you can't plot for life, you can't rehearse, and you can't read up beforehand, because all the girl-on-girl fiction out there is aimed at men anyway! So, I can't even conduct field research, because ever since they closed down play, it's been difficult for lesbians to find a place to possessively wind their arms around each other on the dance floor, like clocks to whom time is very, 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 very important. I'm not sure when I will stop saying with utmost surprise, there are so many attractive queer people in the world, but like a student taking in all the stalls at the school tuck shop with all the pocket money in the world, $1.50, and the infinity of a 1-hour recess before me. Thank you. That was my... Yay! That was the most gay poem I've written, and I did a whole show about being gay. Okay. So you know how you grow up listening to your parents' opinions around the dinner table, and how those meals sometimes become incompatible with the things that you actually want to eat, like pussy. So this next poem is about that and other things. Okay, this was actually written for the culinary slam. It was about food, so this whole poem was about food. So those of you who like food, yay! Okay, it's entitled Chopsticks. Dinner at home is a time of reckoning. Perhaps because heavy things fall faster, my parents wait until my belly is full to talk of terrible things so that I can really feel my stomach drop. All of my most uncomfortable conversations happen somewhere between cutlery and the clearing of plates. They hope to prevent me from wandering naked, liberated as Adam in the Garden of Eden. But trust me, all the ribs that I have to spare are braised with soy sauce. I have eaten of both the apple of knowledge and the mandarin orange of unspoken boundaries. Dinner at home is a time for moral education. You know my family isn't racist because we eat black chicken soup. They tell me the only one here who should be getting laid is the table. You hate okra? Well, too bad. These ladies' fingers are the only ones going in you. So, eat your vegetables and don't be a fruit. So I learned to grow a skin that is not only thick, but roasted to perfection in order to withstand the degrees Celsius in which people scrutinize you. My chest has been likened not only to char siu bao, but siu mai, which is just a steaming pile of dumplings, and the only time I see the point of swearing with the word basket. At dinner time, I whisper to the pork, how do I remain as tender as your loins? Because dinner is a time for self-preservation. For years, to keep her from gasping for air, my sister was fed the powdered fetus of a deer and still looks stricken every time she's placed in the spotlight. The thing that I learned from downing bowls of desiccated caterpillars is how holding your breath, like your tongue, is sometimes necessary, but still, don't fuck with me. I've eaten stranger things than you. Kangaroo, grasshopper, crocodile, whole fried sparrows, bamboo worms, bacon-flavored ice cream. Dead skin on my fingertips, dead skin on your fingertips. I use it to pick up girls, look her up and down and say, hey baby, I'm Chinese, I eat everything. But that is a lie. Admitting to pleasure still makes me nervous, and the closest I've come to being a hedonist is eating lotus root soup. The mandarin orange taught me to segment off my wants and to never peel apart, because other people want to believe that all your pulp is fiction. You know how everyone is too afraid to eat the last piece of food in any dish in a Chinese restaurant? So, it is my dream to one day stretch out, be more than lazy Susan, and like my chopsticks, finally grow a pair. Thank you.
So, contrary to that look she gave, bacon ice cream is actually pretty fucking awesome. Okay, Marylyn, it's not weird. And yeah, she says she's a baby. She lied. Alright, so moving on to our next performer, someone that I've known for quite a while. He graces the open mic stage quite a bit, and also the slam stage. So those of you who frequent those events, you would know him. His name is Muslim.
little late. I was busy getting my chest done. You know, I haven't done it for 6 months, so I forgot how painful it was. My waxer told me, wait, do you call him waxer? Okay, I think he's called a beautician. Okay, my beautician said that, you know, it's just a little uncomfortable. The word pain is a bit over-exaggerated, but it doesn't really matter to me. Pain is just pain. Okay, he uses 2 types of wax. He uses a pink wax and he uses a blue wax. The pink wax is for the more sensitive areas, you know, like the nipple and the belly button and the down there. So, yeah, it does a cleaner job, but I don't really like it. You know, it's a bit thicker, and when you spread it, it kind of thugs on some of your hair. It's like spreading cold Nutella on bread. You know, the fiber gets pulled, and you might just end up tearing something. I'm sorry, am I making you uncomfortable? No. My favorite one is the blue one. The blue one is, you know, it's much more fluid, so it's easier to spread. But it's also easier to pull out the muslin. But the problem with the blue one is you might get burned from the, you know, hot metal spatula. And the problem with the blue one is you have to pull the muslin a couple more times, so it kind of prolongs your pain. So when people ask me, is waxing really painful? I go, When people ask me why do I really do it, I say, like, you know, some of the guys nowadays, they prefer guys a bit hairless. So I'm okay with changing myself, so it's fine. So there are some people that ask me, should they get their chest done? I tell them, do you want to fight ideology with pink wax or blue wax? The pink wax is for the more sensitive areas. It does a cleaner job, but it's much, much more painful. The blue one is much less painful, but you have to rip it so many times that the color of your skin will forget what its original color is. So I have waxed my culture off my chest, waxed the labels off my belly button, and waxed your diversity quota off my bum hole. Off my bum hole, yeah. But it seems everything just grows back thicker, stronger, and, you know, much, much, much more deeply rooted. So, you know, if this pain is just a little bit more uncomfortable than usual. So if you ask me if you should wax yourself, I tell you, sometimes it's just easier to wax yourself clean than to wax off someone's privilege off their ass. Thank you. Yeah, my name is Muslim. Yeah, that piece is called Wax Off My Chest. I kind of wrote it, I just finished it today, yeah, finally. Yeah, I wanted to write this for the IndigNation, but it just took me so long. I want to thank Yisheng because he's the one that asked me to come for the first one that I did was last year. And of course I worked with Vanessa and, you know, Stephanie. They are awesome people. I love their writing. I don't know whether they will do anything today. I will not. Well, she's shaking her head. But I love their writing. They're such beautiful people and very generous. And I want to thank them for letting me perform here. Okay, I'm just quickly going to move on because we have a very tight one. The next piece that I'm going to do is, of course, you know, the last few months there's a lot of things that's happening in our community, especially with Pastor Kong. So this piece is actually about Pastor Kong. Well, people have written so many things about him. So as we know, some people think that since he has so much hatred, maybe he's gay himself, closer to himself. So this is my take on it. I hope I remember everything. Okay, so this one, I can't remember. Okay, this one is called The Calling, also known as the alleged past of Pastor Kong. Port Dickson, 1971 is the last place they will meet. The National Library will be the first. Watching the sunrise in the eyes of a boy that was parked on his red brick balustrade. Hom Lim Park will be the first place they held hands. And the Capitol building will be the first place they made out, sneaking out of a James Bond film on their own secret little mission. The boy's hands slips into his pants and whispers, "Kiss me, Lawrence." The Assemblies of God is where he will pray for the Lord to save his soul, and Port Dickson will be the last place they will meet. On Cape Ricardo, they sat across from each other. The boy wanted to break up. Why? Because I don't love you anymore. What do you mean you don't love me anymore? Because I just don't. Is there someone else? Look at me. What do you mean you don't love me anymore? What do you mean you don't love me anymore? What do you mean you don't love me anymore? What do you mean you don't love me anymore? What do you mean you don't love me anymore? What do you mean you don't love me anymore? I just don't. The beach is where he will drag the boy into the water. The sea is where the boy will fight back. The assemblies of God is where he will pray for the Lord to save his soul, and the virgin will come running to aid him. Their hands will submerge the sunrise, baptizing it by water and by spirit, drowning the faggot in the straits of Malacca. His head will hear the calling. His heart suspended in a permanent state of decay. And Port Dickson will be the last place you will see him. Thank you.